Oh, I'm a long way from home. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know I am here to help you in any way I can and to just listen in tonight and see how you guys are doing. So, thank you.
Awesome. Well, now that we're recording, we are Talents Unlimited Toastmasters. We meet every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. We are a unique club. Our club is a podcast venue where we interact with each other. We have presentations or speeches, if you will, on a multitude of subjects, mostly pathways. Sometimes they can just be the topic of the day, or sometimes even controversial topics where we could articulate our views and actually practice our public speaking, not just in a structured environment, but use it for everyday encounters. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our president, first time, and that is Diana Valencia. Diana.
Hello, everyone. Well, good evening and thank you for being here tonight. Jerry, it's a great opportunity having you here with us tonight. And I see Brittany, I see Martin. So I'm glad to see you all here. And so I see that you are our new area director. So I'm like, okay, it's a good opportunity to meet her, what's her purpose and her vision, and also to share our vision with you and our purpose as a club. So for tonight, we have a special speaker with us, and this is Robert Ortiz with our topic for tonight on sell me on your idea through persuasion. Robert Ortiz, sell me on your idea through persuasion. Robert Ortiz, please welcome.
Thank you, Diana. This is a level 2 pathways. It is persuasive speaking. Persuasive speaking remains one of the most potent and valuable skills that any person could have. And you're probably going, what do you mean by that? Well, I guarantee throughout your day, every day, you are trying to persuade somebody something. That something could be a belief, it can be an attitude, it can be a value, or even to take action. For example, if you would like your son or grandson or whatever the case may be to mow that lawn, you would probably want to be persuasive in encouraging that person why you want to do it. And there's a multitude of ways to present that persuasive impact to get them to mow that lawn. Now, they say persuasive skills is an art. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, but it is definitely something that, well, I guess you can say it's an art because it's something that you have to practice over and over again, but you just don't practice the same thing because there's a multitude of factors you have to take in when you're trying to persuade somebody. One of the things that you don't want to do when you're trying to persuade somebody is through forcing them or threatening them. That's not going to accomplish anything. So what you're trying to do is to guide them to that new perspective to perform that action. Now, where do we use persuasive speaking? Now, I'm going to go to an individual here, Mr. Jim Kearney, because Jim, you are very persuasive and in a multitude of ways when it comes to finance. And I have to applaud you, but can you kind of go over how you use what you do to attract people to be more responsible and financially independent? Just real quick.
Right. So there's a couple of things that you have to have in order to be persuasive. Number one, you have to have some sort of expertise. Number two, the people you're talking to have to recognize and accept that expertise. If you don't have that, you're not going to build any trust, and you're not going to build any type of relationship between you and the person you're talking to. And everything that you say is going to go in one ear and it's going to go flying out the other ear, and the person's going to think you're an idiot. So you have to be able to have these different pieces working for you in order to make it happen. And when you're going to be persuasive, it's about the relationship that you have to the audience of the person that you're speaking with. You have to be able to understand their perspective, and you have to be able to present in a clear and compelling argument exactly how what you're trying to persuade them to do benefits them.
Absolutely. Real quick, Diana, you're the youngster. How
Yes.
many times, or even Martin, how many times have you been approached or you go someplace and you have that irritating salesperson who just will say anything to get you to commit to an action like such as purchasing? Any hands out there? I know it happens to me. Go ahead, Diana.
Well, yeah, I have noticed, and not even just on other salespeople, but also on me, when we're trying to communicate something, as you said, I think we just forget about the main reason or the people, and we just focus on the idea that we want to sell that, and we forget about other important factors, right? Like, for example, if someone wants to sell me, I don't know, solar panels or a new car, and I might not need that right now, so they will be like this and just focus on to do the sell, right? But then if you meet another salesperson that might be selling the same thing, but they can be like more focused on your needs, like trying to help you and find out a way and to make it work for you, not just focus on the idea to sell it because you need to buy it, but because it will help you out.
Mhm.
So that's what I noticed. So if that's your point, yeah, I have been noticing that from different people, not all of them, but yeah.
So there's ways that salesmen can make and break themselves. They go on the assumption that if you walk into the store, you're there to buy something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you walk in the store? If you go to a car lot, you're there to buy a car. Why would you be there if you're not there to buy a car? So they work on the assumption you walked in and you want to buy something. If you walk out without buying something, they failed at their job. That's the process inside their head. So when the salesperson is going to get out there and start doing these type of things, even if you talk about something with the solar panel, the first thing that they're going to talk about is how's the day or how's something going. They try to get some sort of rapport going on. If you're the type that doesn't want a rapport, you need to tell them that. Otherwise, whatever they say is going to go in one ear and it's going to go out the other ear, and you're going to think he's an idiot. Right? So you have to be able to communicate. It goes both ways.
Exactly.
If you don't want that salesperson bothering you, just tell them, I'm browsing. I don't need you at the moment. Let me go look. I'll come back to you.
It reminds me of a movie that I once saw. It's one of the funniest movies. It's called Used Cars with Kurt Russell. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. If you
No.
ever saw that movie. And one of the lines that he uses when he has a parking lot full of these cars that are not in the best shape, but he's trying to sell them, is he comes up to this woman and he goes, Mrs. So-and-so, did you know, because she had dark hair, did you know that the color of your hair matches the color of these tires? Now, I don't know. I don't think, Diana, would you fall for that?
Oh, depends. But
Now, maybe for Martin and myself, because we got white walls, right? So, we got the gray going, we got white wall tires here. But maybe, but sales people, we had a great conversation here about that just in the last couple of minutes. But, you provided some great observations. You have one salesperson is trying to make a sale, another one is actually trying to fulfill your needs, and that's pretty big. So when you're trying to sell something, and we're only talking about selling at this point, but you can use persuasive speaking in other areas as too. As an example, lawyers use persuasive speaking when they're presenting the case. You have when you're trying to motivate a team, you're trying to, like myself being a VPE this year, I'm trying to motivate or instill discipline through persuasive talking, how it benefits you. Not only how it benefits you, because that's the goal of a Toastmasters Club anyway, is to benefit you and your goals. But at the same time, in the background, we're also trying to enhance our distinguished club achievements as well. It is not to manipulate. Persuasive speaking is not to manipulate, but to convince your individual or an audience that what you're trying to present has merit. So we're going to go back to what Jim said a little bit ago, and that is you gotta be credible. There's three main criterias of focus. You have to have credibility, as Jim said. You got to be trustworthy. You got to know what you're talking about, and you got to be sincere. You don't want to be if you're just throwing words out there and you don't even sound sincere, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the attention of that person. Jim expressed expertise, which that is huge. And if you are not an expert in it, at least you're going to present a credible source. Now, I've done speeches in the past on health as an example, and some of our pathways include credible sources for health, where we present that health in order for you to look it up, to make what we were trying to convey a little bit more credible. And we have to present ourselves with logic and integrity. So if I'm saying, Martin, I'd really like to get this house, man, or somebody comes to me and says, Martin, Martin's looking for a home, because I'm picking on him because he's in finance. And he says, Robert, I'm looking for a house. And I said, well, let me see what I can do. This will really benefit you. That attitude is not going to get the sale. It's not going to persuade him or her to have confidence in me to be able to fulfill their needs. Okay, so everything we do has to be well organized, logical. You got to start from here. This is why, and this will happen, and this should be the end product. If that sounds pretty good, then you have some credibility, and you'll probably get some persuasion out of that. You'll probably get some kind of activity out of that.
I don't know, Robert.
You don't know? You don't think logic has anything to do with it?
So logic has a small part, but nobody in the entire world makes a decision based on logic. It's always based on emotion.
no.
So if you're going to do something, you need to you need to push that emotional button. If I came in to buy a car, why am I trying to buy that car? What is my emotional reason to buy that car? If that car salesman can find out that why, he's got a sale. The trick
Yeah.
to it is
ahead.
asking why 7 times.
Well,
Because-
your reason for buying a car, my reason are going to be different. Your
But you
hair is
ask-
not going
you-
to your hair is
ask-
not going to be flying in the wind.
You ask the why 7 times. You drill down that why question, pass all the logic, and hit that emotional button. And when that salesman finds that emotional button, he's got that sale. And that's where salesmen fail. They don't find that emotional button.
I'm a different person altogether. I know why I'm there. I know why I'm in front of the car. So it's not a question of me why I want to buy this car. I already know the reason why. So I just want to know why. I'm asking him why, how much it's going to cost. I'm already in front of the car. You don't need to know why I'm here. I'm already in front of the car. As an example, I'm already here looking at a cappuccino machine. I want to know the price, or I'm going to go somewhere else. And so you're right. There's a lot of emotional connection when some people make emotional decisions.
So if you're out
I-
there
I-
buying a car, and I tell you that car is going to cost you $50,000, and you say, "Oh, that's too expensive. I'm going to walk away. I'll go someplace else." Well, you know what? It's a brand new car. It costs $50,000. Wherever you walk, it's going to cost $50,000. So go ahead, walk. You're not being reasonable in your sale because you are being the obstinate person. Now, if you turned around and you told that salesperson, "I can't afford it at that price," or "there's something wrong with the way you have that price and the way that car looks. To me, they don't match." And when you got that conversation going, that salesman will find out your why, and he will find a way to fix it so that you can get the car you want.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. A lot of times when a car, and we're focusing on cars and emotion, a lot of times they'll have markup on cars just in the area that you live in versus another area, another locality. But you're right. Asking why emotion comes into it. You know, Diana, did you know the color of your hair matches the color of these tires? You know, there's a lot of different things that go into asking why and how they try to get you. But overall, persuasive speaking is trying to be able to drive a decision-making action. Or yeah, in any measure. Okay. And in addition, you want to, if you're going to try to sell something or an opinion or convey a thought, you know, you got to make something relatable too. You know, if you have no idea why you're saying what you're saying and you have a relatable story as an example or a relatable example, you know, then your message can become a little bit more intact, impactful. So there's a multitude of reasons. We can go on forever. Martin, you're in the home business. Can you give an example where persuasion had come about in your professional or even daily life?
Yeah, so let me just go back to what we're talking about. I think it also depends on your reason for buying something. So there is, I want that item, or I need that item, right? If you need it, then I think that's where you know, some of the logic will kick in. There's a reason why you need it. For example, when when I bought my last truck, my other car was breaking down, and it seemed like it was stalling, and it was getting quite dangerous, because if I came to a traffic signal 4-way stop sign, I didn't know if I was going to be able to cross the street without getting in an accident. And there are times when I buy things on an impulse that I see something and I say, oh, I want that. I don't really need it, but I want it, right? So there's no logic behind it other than it's something that I like.
I,
And it was with the truck that I bought, right? So I needed a truck, but then when I got to the lot, instead of looking at their base models that they have, that would have been just fine for me to buy, they showed me a different truck that was all, lifted. It had all the, the gadgets in it, and it's a beautiful truck. So when I started comparing the base models versus, something that was nicer, I went with a nicer one.
why?
Because it had appealed to me.
Why?
It had everything that I had dreamed about. Now,
Okay, so
when my wife saw that,
so it was
it
an
was
emotional
totally
decision.
opposite. It was totally opposite. She
Yeah.
goes, why did you buy that truck? You don't need all the extras, with it. So she was using logic.
Correct, but
we don't need all that.
But you just proved the point that it was an emotional decision, because it had all the things you dreamed about.
Mm-hmm.
That was your emotional decision. That was your emotional push button. And that salesman found it and pushed you.
Right. Yeah. So you can see how you can, you can go walk in with certain expectations already. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. But you might see something else that's going to say, oh, that one's even better. And you can change your mind. By my expectations, did change. Now, there's also, we've made some home improvements through our house. We added a covered patio and balcony. We put new hardwood flooring and new windows. We could have gone with just a regular window, maybe not a name brand, right? But after we discussed it, my wife and I, he says, okay, we can spend a little extra money, go with a name brand window that's going to add value to the home. Okay, so we weren't looking for us to satisfy us, but more as to, in time, we probably would gain some value out of it. We did the same thing with the hardwood floors. There's different types of hardwood flooring. We went with we thought it was that would also add value to the house. And so we weren't persuaded by the salesperson when we bought we had the windows installed or the flooring. It was something that we did some research on, the different types of windows and flooring, and we decided, okay, we'll go with something that's a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, it's going to benefit us because it will maintain the value. It might even increase the value of the home. So it wasn't that we said, we just like the look.
But you didn't need the salesperson to persuade you. You already persuaded yourself based on your own emotional choices.
Correct.
Yeah, so you did the salesperson's work for him. It makes it real easy for the salesperson at that point.
Yeah, but we've had we get many salespeople that come trying to sell us solar panels, and I get turned off immediately by their aggression. They're just very pushy. They're in your face. demanding information for you, like, what's your account number? I want the records of your electric bills and this and that. So like, we haven't even discussed anything else, and you're already asking for passwords and
And have you
access to my account.
have you told them the PAXan?
We have.
Good for you.
We have, and there's some we said that because we got estimates many years ago, and we looked at both leasing and buying, and then we decided, well, the cost if we buy the cost of the solar panels, we wouldn't get that money back if we move within a certain amount of years. We wouldn't recoup the money, and so we decided, not to have some solar panels installed because of that. We don't believe we're going to be in the house much longer. And that's what we tell the salespeople when they get the new ones that keep coming by. And say, look, we've already had estimates. This is the reason we're not interested in solar panels. But man, they are pushy. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
And you notice that the persuasion argument is still based on emotion, because you are pissed off that they're being so pushy. You're pissed off that they're asking for your personal identification. That's your emotion deciding.
Yeah.
Every decision, I'm telling you, every single decision every human makes is based on emotion. Whether they recognize it or not, it's still based on emotion.
Well, you can't discount emotion at any point in time in your life. There isn't 1 second in your life where you don't have emotion.
You know what? The other, I don't know if it's a trick, but a tactic that they use is, after you tell them no, and they say, oh, yeah, can I use your restroom? So they can come inside the house, because we don't invite them inside the house.
Yeah.
And so that's the latest tactic that some of them have been using is, can we use the restroom? And once you're there inside, then they start talking even more, and they tell you what beautiful paintings you have, what beautiful this and that, and it's like.
That's
but now we're
a change in tactics to get to your emotions.
Yeah, but like I said, we're experienced enough now to recognize that,
Mhm.
and we're like, we're not giving in. I mean, we just say, no, sorry, thank you. My wife has, the last one that came, he came twice, and the second time he would not take no for an answer, so she just closed the door. It goes boom, and I go, no, I better keep my eye on my truck, make sure that it's not keyed overnight or something.
Now, I'm going to ask our guest this evening, our Area 1 director. She took on this responsibility of being an area director. So, Jerry, what is it, or what tactic, or what persuaded you to become an area director?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Robert. I believe that we do things based on emotion, but I don't believe we do everything based on emotion. Some things are thought out, are strategically aligned to at what point you do things in your life. However, you spoke about relationships and understanding persuasion with building relationship. Over my 5 years of being in this Toastmasters organization, I have come in contact with a variety of people and such. And it's through those relationships that you are motivated to do certain things, I believe. I want to work on my DTM. I want to help people. I have passion about Toastmasters. And I look at this area, there's a room for a lot of growth in this area. And there's great leadership in this division that I wanted to be a part of. So that was my motivation to join this division and then subsequently take on this area.
Mhm.
Does
Back
that,
to you.
does that
Oh,
mean
yeah.
you're gonna go over and join the DTM club so we can help you get your DTM? That's our job at the DTM club. Knock down the walls and get you your DTM.
Not that he's trying to be persuasive or anything, right? So.
Oh, my Lord. I
Jerry,
have it on my calendar. I have it on my calendar.
Jerry,
However, I have a club here in Japan that we were members of 10 years ago when we were here the last time. So we have a conflict of time. They're meeting at the same time, but I'm going to visit that DTM club. I also like to visit again the leadership club. And I believe anybody should, not anybody that's really interested in leadership and communication should join or should join and should visit the leadership club.
Mhm.
That is a great club. They have a lot of experience in that club and you can really learn a lot.
There's a lot of persuasion in what she just said. And it may be just, and it's justifiable, right? So a lot of integrity
If
there.
you
Go
if you
ahead.
want to be persuasive, take the PI pathway. You will learn a lot about persuasion.
So real quick, Brittany, real short, because we're running out of time here in a little bit. So Brittany, you're a VPPR and you've been a VPPR for a long time now. Real quick, what do you do to try to persuade people to join Toastmasters or to join a club?
Well, thank you, Robert. As a VPPR, I invited them word of mouth to join the the local Toastmasters club that I'm in. Basically, I always get more people to join the club,
Mhm.
and basically, I'm a VPPR of the two of my local clubs. One is uh, Give the Gap and Reach for the Stars,
Mhm.
and I'm a VP membership in Leadership Masters, and also and also TM Studios,
Mhm.
which is
So what is it about Toastmasters in one sentence? What is it about Toastmasters that somebody outside of Toastmasters can gain in Toastmasters? Why
uh,
should I join Toastmasters, Brittany?
so you can so you or anyone could be confident in public speaking, communication, or leadership skills.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there anything else or
And just to that's what we do. Well, that's what we do here in Toastmasters. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop leadership and communication skills and result in greater self-confidence and a personal growth.
awesome? And you know what the thing is about being persuasive, and I don't think we at Toastmasters use persuasion enough. I'll give you an example. Every one of us have taken a level 2 pathways for persuasive speaking. Maybe except for Diana, but nevertheless, we've all taken that pathway, but how have we used persuasive speaking in any way, shape, or form to promote Toastmasters? Most of your persuasive speaking is in the club, and nobody knows why you joined Toastmasters and the benefit of Toastmasters. Now, we've done this, we've covered this many times in our venue, why you should join Toastmasters. Brittany gave us a little bit of insight why we should join Toastmasters. But everyone has their own goals, everyone has their own reasons, and I'm reaching out to you, audience. What is it in your life, personal or professional, that continuous learning in leadership, in presentation, any relationships that you could attain in Toastmasters? How can Toastmasters work for you to make you a better communicator and a better listener? So that's what I'm asking my audience out there. And if you have any kind of desire to learn about Toastmasters and to become a better communicator, listening, talking, whatever the case may be, leading, boy, do we have a pathways and curriculum for you at one of the most inexpensive ways to get an education. So how does that sound? And and at the very end, you pursue your growth at your own pace. Not too many educational programs provide that. So I'm trying to be persuasive right now, but that goes to show what persuasive speaking is about. Jim is right with emotion. Diana's right with her experience. Brittany's right with her explanation. Jerry and Martin, I sure hope you're still driving that pickup truck. And Jerry, your expertise and the reason why you're joining to become a DTM, those are all reasons that somehow somebody made an impact in your life to be able to pursue your Toastmasters and be a persuasive speaker, because I guarantee you, every one of you, even in the audience, is trying to convince somebody of something and at least give consideration to your point of view. So having said that, I would like to conclude this discussion, and I'm going to turn this back over to our presiding officer, our Madam President, Diana Valencia.
Thank you, Robert. That was a great speech. I think I have never thought about that, but here in Toastmasters, I think that's one of the most important things that sometimes we're not even aware of it. Persuasion, right? If used correctly, because as we talked about before, I believe if persuasion is used on a good way, or as Jerry said, we have a pathway, right, to learn how to communicate well, we can achieve things, right? So sometimes what I think is, if we look more beyond than just to sell a program or to, I don't know, just want something, but if we focus on others and show them that it really works, it's not just an idea, but a thing that actually works, because we see a lot of progress. I see progress in Jerry, Jim, Robert, Robert, I think he joined Toastmasters like 5 years ago, and now I see him. So how he expressed himself, his ideas, his leadership, Jim as well. So it's something that you can see. We all have a different pathways, different progress, but we're kind of on the same way. So I'm glad and I'm happy to have you all here, Jerry, as our special guest for tonight. And before we adjourn this meeting, I would like to ask, what do you think about this? What do you like? What are your takeaways? I'll go with Jerry.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer and Madam President. What I take away from this meeting is the persuasion that Robert has instilled in you, and to persuade you to have conversations with people that you meet to get additional members for your club. If everybody does a little, nobody has to do a lot. So I challenge you to go out there, be persuasive in your conversations with who you meet, and you will build those relationships that will help people, will give back, and will strengthen your club, as well as you will make new friends and just have a great experience with Toastmasters. Robert keyed in on the fact that I joined Toastmasters to get my DTM. That's only one piece of the reason that I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters for continuous learning and professional growth, and to help the younger people realize the importance of leadership. Leadership, if you have no leadership, you have nothing. Leadership is what makes the world go around. So in closing, I just would like to share one example of persuasion. We have a new club member in Ridgecrest that joined because of the persuasion that her boss persuaded her and told her Toastmasters would be a good thing to join so you can learn leadership and public speaking. And that is so true. As you go on your day-to-day travels and you run into people, think about how many people know about Toastmasters when you come in contact with them. I have almost everyone that I ask, do you know what Toastmasters is? They have no idea about what Toastmasters is. So just think about that as you're walking around and you ask people if they know about Toastmasters. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to know about Toastmasters. So that's a great opportunity for you to strike up conversation and share with them how Toastmasters can benefit them. Thank you for having me tonight. You guys look great. I will come back again in about a month because I would like to do my official visit with you all. But in the meantime, go out there and be persuasive, connect with people, and develop those relationships that will improve your life as well as your club's life. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for those words with a lot of wisdom. We're gonna take it for granted, and we're gonna, of course, be persuasive. So, in a good way. Well, before I think, if anybody has any questions, Robert, Jim, Brittany, Martin? No?
Yeah, I have an item to discuss with the group.
So we probably
Because-
discuss that when we close off the podcast.
Okay,
Yeah, so we're good. So we have just 10 minutes left. And I adjourn this meeting. So
All right, thank you everybody for coming. We are Talents Unlimited. We meet every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. California time. So please come and join us and have a little fun. Madam President,